Yes, the flagship killer has returned, and still unsurprisingly with a vengeance, and boy does it pack a punch. There's a reason it's called the Pro. I've been using the OnePlus 8 Pro for about a week now. If you caught my video last week, you'll know I unboxed the pop-up box of the OnePlus 8 Pro. So, today, I'm giving you my full review. The OnePlus 8 Pro comes in 3 different colours: Glacial Green, Onyx Black and Ultramarine Blue. There's been no word yet, however, as to when the UK can expect the Ultramarine Blue. The colour I have here is the Glacial Green, which has a slight turquoise look to it. But it's subtle, but get it in the right light and you'll be in awe of its beautiful design. The device also uses USB 3.1 with faster data transference speeds promised. Unfortunately for all you 3.5mm jack fans, the OnePlus 8 Pro does not have one. It also has an IP68 water resistant rating, and yes, it comes 5G ready. Moving on to display now, and the 8 Pro comes equipped with a 6.78 inch 120Hz Fluid AMOLED Quad HD Plus refresh rate, making scrolling an experience of pure delight. I now find that going back to a 60Hz display is next to impossible. You really have to see this thing to truly appreciate it. OnePlus has also shifted their display in the 8 Pro to using a 10-bit colour depth, which means 64 times more colours are able to be displayed. There's also a new mode which enhances the colours in your video, making what you're watching a lot more vivid. OnePlus have also used a chip they call the MEMC chip, which they state increases the frame rate of the things you're watching and supposedly reduces motion blur. Whilst watching some YouTube videos, I did notice an increase in frame rate, but it was very limited. So far, the OnePlus Gallery, Amazon Prime Video, Netflix and YouTube are supported. They also include a comfort tone to make ambient light that less bit glaring. The hole punch camera on the display is in a justifiable place, being in the corner of the screen, meaning when you're watching movies such as Avengers Endgame here, you're really drawn in. Not every app supports full screen, however, as when I was watching Netflix in full screen, it didn't fill up the entire display. Hopefully we'll see an update for that soon. The curve on the display looks fantastic and very premium, but the practicality aspect was not ideal, as there was a lot of palm rejection whilst I was using the device. Moving on now to the customization options, and you're not stuck with choice of OnePlus's generous ways you can customize your phone. You can change the look of the ambient clock, your fingerprint scanner animation, the horizon light color, and the theme. You can also change the accent color of your device, how you want your icons to appear on the home screen, and even change the shape of your notification bar icons. One thing I would have loved to have seen OnePlus add is a dedicated automatic dark mode. By night, having to change from light to dark manually, well, eventually it gets a little tiresome. The optical fingerprint scanner is the same as last year's OnePlus 7 Pro, but I've had no issues with that. For me, it has worked every time. The same can be said for the face recognition feature, where I found it unlocked my device every time, and extremely quickly. Using the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 processor, you can expect blazing fast speeds with exceptional performance. The device contains a 4510mAh battery. OnePlus are known for their generous batteries, along with their fast speeds when it comes to charging. Wireless charging is finally supported in this phone, with OnePlus stating you can get a full 50% charge in just 30 minutes when you use their Warp wireless charger. Reverse wireless charging is also compatible. On an average day, I was seeing around 6 hours of on-screen time by the time the phone clocked out. Bearing in mind this was using both the 120Hz and the Quad HD Plus, I had no complaints about battery life. This thing really lasts. On the rear camera, we have 4 cameras with a 48MP main camera using Sony's new IMX689 sensor. You'll also find a x3 hybrid zoom and a 30x digital zoom, along with an ultra-wide 8MP telephoto lens. and a 5 megapixel infrared lens. I tested out the camera and I was very impressed with the results. As you can see, the images taken look close to natural, with very little to no signs of saturation, making the photos look unnatural. The photos looked crisp and sharp, but I didn't notice a huge difference when taking a photo using the 48 megapixel toggle. As you can see here, we have a photo of my dog in the standard 12 megapixel format, and then the 48 megapixel format. There may be slight differences, but they are negligible. I also tried out the 10 times digital zoom, along with the 30 times digital zoom, and again, I was very impressed with the results. The OnePlus 8 Pro records in 1080 at 30 frames per second for the front camera. So this is looking at the front camera. Just move around a little bit. So this has been recorded in 1080 at 60 frames per second. There's my dog just scratching herself. Walk around a bit. I can only do this in my back garden because obviously we're in quarantine. But this gives you an idea of... I should also mention that the rear camera also supports up to 4K 60 frames per second. Dolby Atmos is also supported on the device, which gives what you're listening to that extra surround sound. Here's a demo of what you can expect. So with the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro, not only do you get Google Assistant built in, but you also get Amazon Alexa built in. So you can simply ask the question, Alexa, what's the weather like today in London?
In London, England, it's 23 degrees Celsius with clear skies and sun. Today, you can expect mostly sunny weather, with a high of 23 degrees and a low of 7 degrees.
And there you go. Another feature available on the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro is enable dark mode in more apps. I haven't really noticed this a lot, but I'm hoping over time more apps will be compatible. One feature which goes a long way is the silent option. Instead of having to go into your menu like other Android phones, OnePlus phones come with a switch which you can toggle to your heart's content. If you're interested in the OnePlus 8 or the OnePlus 8 Pro and you live here in the UK, you can purchase them now in variants of 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, or the version that I have, which is 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. So to summarise, the OnePlus 8 Pro is one of the best phones you can buy on the market. I'm going to give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. I'm not a great fan of the curved display due to the palm rejection, but apart from that, for a phone that's packed with so many features, you can't go wrong. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.